Hello and welcome to Rathod Science Academy. Today in this session we are going to see very important articles that appear in our today's newspaper. So let's get started with our discussion. First of all, I'll tell you important topics of the day and later on we are going to analyze these articles from both prelims and as well as mains point of view. And I'll be also letting you know how you can expect a question from both prelims, mains and interview point of view. And at last, I'll be giving you some prelims practice questions so that you will be getting an idea like how you have to approach that kind of questions. First topic it is about US deal excludes sensitive sector, says Goyal. So this article is talking about India-US deal, and there are certain changes which had been made later on in the later half of yesterday. So because of this, we are going to see what are the changes that they made. And this topic is important from GS paper 2 under international relations. And next topic is conservation list apprehensive of turtle trails announced in budget. So this article is talking about turtle trails. So here you have to see what exactly is this turtle trails is about, because it is announced in the budget and there is a very high chance of getting question regarding this turtle trails. And this topic is important from your GS paper 3 under environment and ecology. And next topic is global aid cuts could lead to 22.6 million additional deaths across the globe. So here we have to see which regions in the world are going to be get affected because of this decreasing of this global aid. And this topic is important from your international relations, and as well as India is also getting affected a lot. And this is about Lancet report. So here we have to see what is that Lancet report is about, what it said regarding India as well. And next topic is 84% waste pickers from SC, ST, OBC groups. So recently one Government of India report says that most of the waste pickers, they are from these societies. Okay, and next topic it is about AI's next investment cycle belongs to application. So here there is shift in AI investment which is going on in India. So here we have to see in which area the shift is happening and why the shift is happening in this AI. And next topic is there is no case of scrapping MP LAD's funds. So here you have to see about what this MP LAD scheme is about, and there is a very high chance of getting question related to that. And next topic is rupee jumps 1.2 percentage, and rupee value it is $1 is equal to 90.32 now on US tariff cut. Markets cheer deal. That means there is increasing of 1.2 percentage of value of Indian currency. That is nothing but we can see appreciation of Indian currency. And this topic is important from your economy from GS paper 3. And this one is Venezuelan oil will be difficult to process, says Indian refiners. Already you know that why we are importing very much less amount of this oil of Venezuela. So here our Indian refiners are saying that if you are importing this Venezuelan oil, whatever the technology we have in our Indian oil refineries, they are not going to process that properly and will become a difficult. So this topic is important from again international relations and as well as from GS paper 3 from science and technology point of view. So all these are the topics that we are going to discuss in this class. Okay, now look at the title guys. See the title. US deal excludes sensitive sectors, says Goyal. Who is this Goyal? Why he is giving that kind of statements? Who is this Goyal? Have you heard this name? Have you seen that person? Minister of Finance? Minister of Finance? No. Then? Corporate? Corporate? Corporate or Commerce? Ministry of Commerce. Commerce includes what? Trade? Okay. So actually what we discussed yesterday, there is decreased tariffs. And what is the percentage of tariff now US will be imposing? 18%. And in yesterday's class we discussed that we have in this 50% of tariff, 25 is under Russian Sanction Act, 25 is normal thing, right? But in yesterday's discussions, everything, even US said that we are going to remove that 25% of sanctions which is imposed on this Russian Sanction Act. So now what happened? From 50 percentage, now they directly decreased their tariff to 18 percentage. Okay, in yesterday's class we discussed like how it is going to impact because of this reduction of tariff on our India and as well as US. So most of our today's newspaper is occupied by this single topic, India-US trade deal. Okay, there is one entire paper and even discussions are going on, right? Even our sessions are going on in the parliament. So opposition party leaders are asking lots of questions related to the challenges and how it is going to benefit, why we came up with this deal. All this kind of articles are there in newspaper. So we are going to see that here clearly. So here this article is saying that there is a shift on tariffs which is imposed by US on India. So earlier they used to impose 50 percentage. Now they reduce it to drastically 18 percentage. Okay, so in yesterday's class we discussed why US is decreasing this tariff. Can anyone tell me what are the reasons we discussed in yesterday's class? What are the reasons? Okay, to maintain trade. Next, to maintain good relations. Next, to counter China. Next, in yesterday's class, what we discussed related to the reasons why US took this decision of reducing this tariffs on Indian goods. Why India is important to US? Why India is important to US? Come on. In which groupings India and US both are members of? Which groupings? Okay, Quad. Next. Only Quad? Is it only Quad? E? I didn't get you. Be allowed. Not coming. Come on, think. In which groupings both India and US are members? IR is done. Come on. UN. Okay, next. UNSC. Yes. Next. Think. You can do it. Come on. Recall your memory. Govind. Come on. Tell me, Govind. IR completed, right? Come on. Tell me now. I am not asking something beyond your syllabus. Tell me why India is important to US. What are the common interests of India and US? What are the common interests? Okay, countering of China. Very good. Next. Dividend. Okay, demographic dividend. Next. Isha. Tell me. India is sharing boundary with Indian Ocean region. That means if you want to increase our leverage in Indo-Pacific region, obviously US need help of India. Next, India and US both are democratic countries. Yes or no? Democracies. So democracy country will be helping other democracy country. Next, think in that way. You can do it. Very good, guys. Today I'll give this question. Then you'll do this. Okay, so here the present article is saying that yes, they are going to decrease normal reciprocal tariff of 25% to 18%, and additionally they are going to remove this 25% of punitive tariff, that is nothing but punishment tariff, which is imposed by US on India based on this Russian Sanction Act. That is the thing which mainly said. And here, what are the India's commitments? Why India accepted this? And what are the conditions US placed is? First one here is India has to reduce Russian oil. So if India has to reduce this Russian oil, from which country India can purchase? Which country is in control of US now? Venezuela. So here US is saying that if not Russia, take from Venezuela. So because of this, there is one article at the last which says that Indian oil refineries are saying that it is difficult to process. Are you getting? One article is linked to other articles in the newspaper. So if you clearly follow that, you can match the dots. Okay, so here they are saying that you have to reduce oil imports from Russia and you can import more from US and as well as Venezuela. And next one here is India is expected to reduce its tariff and non-tariff barriers on US goods also. So if US is reducing that, obviously India has to reduce tariffs on US because always tariffs are tit for tat. Okay, so here India is also going to reduce this tariff and non-tariff barriers on this goods which are coming from US. And this one here is US is also expecting a surge in agriculture exports. Like India is exporting tree nuts, soya bean oil, and India is a massive consumer market for this American goods. So for that also, India is providing no tariff on this US goods. And this one here is India has committed to be a stronger buy American stance for government and large scale industrial procurements. As you all know that India is getting lots of technology and as well as advancement defense equipment from other countries also. So here US is saying that US should be the India's big market. That means if India wants to buy anything related to infrastructure or any defense equipments, they have to choose America as a first choice. So these are the commitments. And what is significance of this tariff? Already we discussed yesterday's class. What is the impact for India? We can boost our exports, especially labor intensive sectors like textiles, apparels, leather and seafood industry will grow. And this one here is, as you all know that in our earlier classes we discussed that if Indian goods are attracting 50% of tariff, Indian goods cost will be increased in US market. So at that time, which country goods can occupy that space? I said this point. Can you recall this? Which country's goods are going to occupy the market of India in US? At that time, what we discussed? Bangladesh, Vietnam, right? So here, what is the advantage of India? Now India can face more favorable rate compared to the top goods which are coming from this Vietnam and Bangladesh. So India can restore its place as earlier. That is a one more advantage. And this one here is we can ensure economic stability. And the important problem now in India is depreciation of currency, right? The falling of value of Indian rupee. So if we are coming to the normalization of trade between India and US, obviously we can improve the value of the rupee. That is the last but one article that I pasted. Yes. So here again this article and last two articles are having a link. So we can improve and we can stabilize the value of Indian rupee. So these are the advantages. For US, what are the advantages? As you all know that India passed this Shanti Act. What is this Shanti Act is about? Okay, we are allowing this private partners or private people to produce nuclear energy. That means they can bring the technology from other countries and they can invest in our country. That is the thing, right? So here now what is advantage for US is a developed country and it have good technology related to nuclear energy. Now private investors, they can go to US and they can invest in US to get the technology and they can start production of nuclear energy in our country. That means the sales of nuclear technology will be increased for US. So that is the one advantage. Are you understanding? And next one here is data center dominance. So actually in this budget, they focus that foreign companies who are setting up these data centers in India directly benefits US giants like Google, Microsoft, Amazon, etc. And because of this trade deal, further it will be giving boost for American companies. That is the second advantage US is going to have now. And this one here is obviously it can increase its oil exports to India. Either it may be directly from US or through Venezuela. So because of this, what happens? The trade related to this crude oil will be increased between India and US. So these are the major advantages to US. First one is technology. It can sell technology, technology transfer, and even giant companies will be getting benefited, and even the trade will be getting increased between India and US related to this oil. So these are the very good points actually. And now we have to see about what are the challenges. So most of this opposition party leaders, you are raising this concerns related to, yes, Everything is good, but we are having certain problems, challenges regarding India and US. So now you guys tell me what are the challenges we have between India and US. Are understanding? So till now we discussed what is happening, why US reduced this tariff, and we discussed how it is going to be advantage for both India and US. Now my question is, everything is going good, but there are certain concerns raised by some opposition party leaders. So what do you think? What are the challenges they raised? Come on, online students, tell me in the comment box. Come on, think, you can do it. What are the problems between India and US? IR is done. Come on, recall. Yes, geopolitical tensions related to what? We don't know the mindset of Trump, when and how he will behave, in which situation. That is the one thing. There is instability. Next. US facing? Okay, US is facing trade deficit. In future, it may increase tariffs. The actual problem here is, they said that we are not going to have that much tariff, but the problem here is, US can raise sanitary and phytosanitary related things, and they can limit exports and imports between India and US. What is this sanitary and phytosanitary? For example, last year, do you know AP people got affected because of this totapari mangoes? Do you know these totapari mangoes? They'll be like long, totapari. It will be having taste of sour plus sweet. They're not completely sweet as Banganpalli. You know this, right? At least. Okay, so what happened was, every year AP government used to export this totapari mangoes in a large scale to this US. What happened this time is, they showed phytosanitary reasons. They said that this mango is not clean. On this mango, there is some bacteria. This bacteria is entering into US. That may cause pandemic. So like that, they can show this kind of sanitary, that means neatness, and as well as phytosanitary related things, and they will try to reduce the imports of Indian goods to US. So in this way, they can use this thing, sanitary and phytosanitary measures. Okay, next, other things, other challenges. Hmm? Trade? How? Explain.
Recently, that USA imposed the rice is India is dumping.
Okay, dumping. Okay, India is dumping. Okay, that means they may impose anti-dumping duties on India. Okay, accepted. Example, recent rice. Next. In that way, think. Come on, you can do it.
Visa complication.
Yes, they are complicating visa, that H1B visa complications, and even interviews are delayed intentionally. Next. Think. You can do it.
Lack of cooperation in diplomacy.
Okay, lack of cooperation diplomacy. Can you give me some example?
India trying to many negotiations on tariff now.
Uh.
USA is neglecting that. It extending lagging that.
Okay. Do you know this Board of Peace? I said, what is Board of Peace? Did India join this Board of Peace or not? This Board of Peace is talking about what? Gaza issue, to resolve this Gaza issue. And I said India didn't join this. What are the reasons behind it? First one is, now it is a US-led initiative. They are saying that we are going to apply it for Gaza. We don't know in future whether it is going to be extended for other parts. Even it can be extended to this Jammu and Kashmir issue also, because US and Pakistan are good friends. Right. So because of this uncertainty, we didn't join that Board of Peace. And do you know about Pax Silica? Pax Silica. Recently we discussed. Pax Silica, no idea. No? Yeah. Very important. Pax Silica. I said in our editorial. Come on, go in. Tell me. You know. US wants to ensure critical mineral supply chains free from dominance of so-and-so countries like China. India also got invitation. India joined this Pax Silica recently. I said this article before I went to Delhi. And in interview, most of the questions are based on this Pax Silica only. Ayyo. Okay, see here. What are the challenges is, the first one is strategic autonomy. So here what happens, if you're making this kind of deals with other countries' influence can be seen in India's foreign policy, yes or no? So here, if you're making this kind of deal, here US is dictating India not to get oil from Russia. Who is this who is this US? Why it is saying India to reduce its oil import from Russia? Why we have to go to Venezuela? Despite of not having technology of processing that much high sulfur content crude oil. Are you understanding? So here, one important challenge mainly focused by this opposition party leaders are very strategic autonomy. Are we coming under influence of US now to finalize this trade deal? Are you understanding? The first one is strategic autonomy. Do we have our own foreign policy, or other countries are dictating India's foreign policy? That is the first challenge. And next one here is transactional diplomacy. So actually, whenever we are making deals, always it will be reciprocal. Reciprocal means nothing but you give, I'll give. For example, if you go to marriage or any function, if they bring any gift to your family, then only we'll take gift to their family, right? It is like give and take relations. If they're not giving any gift, or if they are coming empty hands to your family function, we will also go with empty hands. Yes or no? In the same way, in this kind of trade deals also, mostly they will be reciprocal. If US is reducing tariff, India has to reduce tariff. Yes. So here, the problem here is, if India is reducing tariffs on US goods may flood into India. And one more important issue here is, already US is facing trade deficit. It has to maintain the trade balance. So for that, what happens? It may dump the goods in Indian market. That is the second important thing. And next one here is Chinese presence is increasing, and actually both India and US wants to counter this China. So to counter this China, whenever we are making certain kind of things, is that feasible? That is the next important question which mainly raised. And next one here is, US wants to dump dairy and poultry products also into India under this trade deal. So as you all know that India's economy is based on agriculture, and India is doing very good in milk production as well as poultry. If goods from US are coming and dumping in India, our Indian farmers, especially poultry owners, they will be getting affected. That is one more thing. Do you know about this KFC chicken? So what is this KFC? What is the full form of KFC? You will go to KFC, you will order it on KFC, but you don't know full form of KFC. Fried chicken. What is K then? What is K? FC, fried chicken. You will eat chicken, so you know fried chicken. Then what is K? Search. Ayyo, you have to know the basic things. Know whatever you are eating, whatever you are ordering on online, what are the apps you are using, you have to know basic things, right? Without knowing that, how will you use that? Even whatever the powder we are applying on the face, we have to know what is it, whether it is causing any damage to our skin or not. We have to know all those things before using it, right? Before joining here, how many questions you asked me? How much research you did? But before ordering KFC, you're not at all interested to see what is that KFC full form is also. Huh? Okay, next one here is lower tariff and US sanitary and phytosanitary standards. I said no, so they will be raising this sanitary and phytosanitary issues, and they will limit our Indian goods entry into US. That is also one challenge. And next one here is, Google, Microsoft, they are the giant companies of US, and most of Indians we are using, and we are having accounts in this. Actually, we came up with this digital protection of data rules in our country, but US may not follow that. So it is also one cause of concern related to the data privacy in India. So these are the main challenges which are raised by our opposition party leaders related to this trade deal. Are you understanding? Okay, now let us see this next article. Look at the title. Conservationist apprehensive of turtle trails announced in budget. Please make a note, turtle trails. It is very important. And for sure, around 99% you can expect a question related to this turtle trails in 2026 prelims, because it is seen in budget and it is very important topic from your environment and ecology. Okay. And why I'm saying this question can appear here is, in the recent past, we saw many articles related to olive ridley turtle. And we discussed about Aribada, that is mass nesting of olive ridley. And even in the recent days, we saw that there is increased deaths of olive ridley turtles. Why? Why the increased deaths of olive ridley turtles are happening in India? We discussed one major reason. Heavy nets. Explain that. Heavy nets. Next, why trapping in this heavy nets are causing the death of this olive ridley? Main reason. They're stuck in. Next, for how many minutes it will come to the top of the water? Huh? Yes, for every 40 to 45 minutes, it will come up and it will take the breath and it will go inside. So if they are trapping in this heavy nets, they cannot come to the surface. So because of this lack of oxygen, they are dying. That is the thing we discussed. Okay, now let us see this article. Recently, Union Finance Ministry announced the development of turtle trails along the coastal areas of Odisha, Karnataka and Kerala during the presentation of budget. In this budget, they said that they are going to come up with turtle trails and see the states. In which states? Karnataka, Odisha and Kerala. So now you guys tell me, what does this turtle trails means? Just break down these words and tell me what are they? What they are going to do in this turtle trails? Okay, GPS tracker. Very good. Next. What they'll do by attaching this GPS tracker on this turtle, what they'll identify? What they will do in this study of attaching this GPS tracker? What they will find? They find their location. Next, will they understand the migration patterns? Yes, migration patterns in which season and how much distance it is traveling. Next, what can we do? Food habits. How? With tagging, how can we identify this? We can't. Next, only we can trace the movement. Okay, where they are moving and in which season, how many kilometers they are traveling, in which time, in which area they are there. So everything they will try to find. Okay, now let us see here what are the objectives of this turtle trails. First one is, these trails are designed to offer world-class eco-sensitive tourism experiences without disturbing the sensitive nesting habitats. So here we have nesting habitats, they are very much sensitive, and most of the time this olive ridley turtles, they will live in the water only. Only for the nesting time they will come to this coast and they lay eggs and they'll go back. And they live in warm waters of tropical regions, especially in the Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean and Indian Ocean region. And next one here is, we are going to understand their habitat and we are going to understand how conservation is important for their survival. We'll take certain steps related to the conservation of these habitats. And next one here is, this project includes training of local youth, and local youth will be taking their responsibility as turtle guardians. Especially during certain seasons, they will come to the coast and they will lay eggs, right? At that time, these local volunteers, they will be taking care of turtles. And next one is, they will also act as professional tour guides. So in this way, Government of India is planning to create youth employment in new arenas. So whenever you are writing any answer regarding unemployment, how can we increase employment opportunities in India? You can add this as one new dimension. Because India is having lots of potential related to ecological tourism. Like India is having lots of wetlands. We have natural wetlands, we have man-made wetlands, and we have forest, and we have lots of scenic beauty related places in our country. In that area, if government is training this local youth about how they have to guide the tourist, and if you are increasing public employment related to this ecotourism in these areas, obviously we can reduce this problem of unemployment. And even if you are having a proper guides, we can attract more and more tourists from other countries into India. In that way, what happens? It will be a win-win situation for the government, because government can get revenue related to this ecotourism and can also decrease this problem of unemployment in our country. And even we can save our nature, and whatever the developmental activities, conservation activities we are going to take, that will become more success. So we can protect our environment, culture, we can increase employment, we can increase India's soft power related to this ecotourism, and we can attract more and more tourists. So in this way, try to connect different areas if you're getting this kind of small points. Okay. And this one here is where they are focusing in this turtle trail here is. First one is in Odisha coast. In Odisha coast, we have one important famous rookery where this Aribada happens. What is that? Gahar Mata Marine Sanctuary, and they are focusing on Rushikulya river mouth and Devi river mouth. How you can expect a question here? Here you can expect a pair-based question. Consider the following pairs related to turtle trails. And on one side they may give Odisha, Karnataka, Kerala. On one side they can give this areas, right? And they may ask you which pairs are correctly matched. In Odisha, they are focusing on Gahirmata, Rushikulya and Devi river mouth. You know about this Gahirmata, Rushikulya. For sure, everyone knows that. But there will be a confusion regarding this Devi river mouth. So they may give this Odisha, Devi river mouth. You will know only two. You will think that it is compulsory wrong. Are you understanding? In this way, they will give you pair-based question. Most they will not give the more. Everyone knows certain things, and they will remember that. They will not give that. Apart from that, very less people know that. They will be giving that areas. Okay. And next one is Karnataka coast. They are focusing on Uttar Kannada. They are focusing on Dakshina Kannada. And Kerala coast, they are focusing on Malabar coast. And they are focusing on preservation of nesting sites along this Malabar coast. So these are the things. And they are doing this kind of tagging of this turtles, and they are going to find out this migration routes and the speed you're traveling, and they will track the movement of these turtles. Okay, next one, see here, very important article. Look at the title. Global aid cuts could lead to 22.6 million additional deaths. So what is happening here? Recently we discussed that US is coming out of UNICEF. US came out of ISA. Like that, US is coming out of around 66 international organizations. It is not a small number. In 66 in this 66 different multilateral organization, US is coming out. And the problem here is US is a major funder for that kind of organizations. So if US is coming out of that international organizations, what is the problem that we are going to face? There is decreasing of funding. Fund is nothing but even aid or help. So here this article is saying that global aid cut, that means there is decreasing of funding to this global organizations. Because of this, we are going to expect 22.6 million deaths by 2030. By 2030, we are going to expect 22.6 million deaths. It is not a simple or like less number. It is like a huge number. Yes or no? Now you guys tell me what can be done. Can we see title? Yes? Then what can we do? Because of this global aid cut, 22.6 million people are going to die. And can you expect in which regions people will be dying more? In which continent? Yeah, Africa. Next. Very good, Africa. Apart from Africa, what about Europe? What about North America, South America? What about Australia? In which regions? Apart from Africa? Guess. South America. Apart from that? In Europe? West Pacific Ocean Islands. Okay, next. Pacific Ocean Islands, Africa, and Southeast Asia part. So in this Southeast Asia part, Sub-Saharan Africa region, and as well as the Pacific Islands, they are going to be impacted more. And from these regions, we are going to expect more number of deaths. Okay, now you guys tell me, India is leader of Global South. Now, what is the role of India? Should India be silent on this? Can India provide funds to all these countries? Do we have that many funds? Then what can be done? What will be your suggestion to government of India? Increase taxes? Very good. Next, if they increase taxes, that government will not come into power next year, next time. Next, what suggestions will you give to Government of India as a leader of South? How can we handle the situation? Are you understanding my question? I am seeing blank faces without any expression. Diversifying what? Diversifying participation membership. Okay, accepted to some extent. Next. Okay, diplomatic relations. Very good. Next. Come on, think in that way. You are good diplomats. Come on. Who want to become IFS? Indian Foreign Service? No one. Only IS, IPS. That's it. You'll get more money in IFS. This is also a great service, right? You are going to stop 22.6 million deaths. It is a huge service. Tell me. Govind. Chappu Govind.
Special stress on global rating. Economic corridor, we can put special stress on that.
Okay, we have to increase taxes on movement of goods. You are saying that, right? That is only right. Then what happen if taxes are increasing, or if transportation cost is high, means overall goods and service price will be increased. That will be burden on the domestic people, no? But it is needed. Think and try to get an answer for this question. Okay. You have to wait and watch until 2030. Is that it is not the attitude of an IS officer or IFS officer, Akash. How can you sit idle? No funds, what we have to do? For example, if someone is not well in your family, will you wait and watch? Let us see what will happen at last. Will you? Then how it happens in this case? Okay, think about this. So in this way only you will be getting analytical questions in your loans. From where? We can get loans from where? World Bank. Next. Are you understanding how the questions will be? So in this way only you will be getting critical analytical questions in your international relations point of view. And if you're not answering, means they will think that you're not fit for IFS. For sure you will be giving priority for IFS. They'll be asking this: if you become an IFS officer, how can you address this kind of questions? How can you give suggestions to the government of India? Do you think you are unfit to give? Directly on face only they'll say, do you think, are you unfit to this post? What do you think now? So like that, they will be asking you a question. You should not show that you are unfit at any point of time in your interview. Okay? Keep that in mind. And from now onwards, think in this way. If you're getting anything, if you're reading any topic, try to think that what can happen in the future and how we can handle that kind of situation. If that problem is happening now, so what kind of solutions you have? Okay, think in that way. Think in deep. Superficial knowledge is not enough even to clear your prelims. Okay, you have to understand everything in deep. Are you understanding? No one will be there to say about these things. Okay. Yeah, now let us see this article. So here this article, why it is in news, is recently Lancet Global Health Report had been released. Please make a note here. Lancet Global Health Report. Lancet Global Health Report. I am running out of time. Okay, Lancet Global Health Report said that due to global aid cut, 22.6 million people, 22.6 million people are going to die by 2030. Are going to die by 2030 across 93 low and middle income countries. Across 93 low and middle income countries. They mentioned clearly that these deaths are going to happen in low and middle income countries. And we have a recent grouping called as Global South, and India is leader of the Global South. And you are Indians, and you want to become bureaucrats in future. So you have to think about what are the solutions you can give to government of India as as a leader of Global South to reduce this kind of debts in future. Are you understanding? Can you connect this thing why I asked this question? Okay, think about the answer and tell me. I'll come tomorrow and I will ask you the same question. So if I forget, please one of you can remind me. Govind, you have to remind me. Okay, see here, context. A sharp drop in global aid, it could lead to 22.6 million additional preventable deaths. They are saying that the deaths which can be preventable, they are going to happen. That means we can take certain kind of steps so that we can prevent these deaths. Can you tell me some examples of preventable deaths? How can we prevent the deaths? Especially communicable diseases can be preventable. Yes or no? If you are maintaining proper sanitation, okay, if you are maintaining proper sanitation, if you are providing good drinking water without any contamination of food, everything, and if you are controlling the vectors, can we control these preventable deaths? Can you tell me some examples of government schemes which are focusing on health of people? Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Jal Jeevan Mission, tell me like that. Poshan Abhiyan, yes, government is focusing on institutional deaths. Yes or no? Sorry, institutional deliveries. We are decreasing MMR. That is also one deaths we can prevent. If you are going for deliveries in hospitals, in rural areas, why this MMR and infant mortality rate is very high? They are going for deliveries at home. Even today also, many areas, even my area also, many people will go for home deliveries rather than institutional deliveries. If we are improving this kind of things, can India become a leader? Can India can help other countries to prevent this deaths? Are you understanding? Okay, so think, right, what are the schemes in India which are focusing on decreasing of preventable deaths in India? How can we spread awareness to this low and middle income countries so that we can prevent the deaths in future? Are you understanding? So think about India and try to apply in other countries. And if you see here, especially children are going to be get impacted. 5.4 million extra deaths among children under 5 years. Why children under 5 years die? Have you seen these African children, how they will be? Fluffy face with ribs you can see. That means malnutrition. So here India can play a very important role in providing nutrition. So India is coming up with biofortification. Yes, what is biofortification is about? Adding certain vitamins and minerals that are needed. So we can example for that, rice kernels. Next, if you take this PDS rice, in that PDS rice sometimes we can say round wala which is resemble like rice, but they will be not rice, round granules you can see. They are nothing but fortified rice. So like that we can send that fortified rice to other countries as a aid. Okay, next one here is 9.4 million total excess deaths. They will be happen at a moderate pace, and especially they are saying that the regions in the sub-Saharan Africa, there are around 38 countries which are at high risk. And next one is Asia is having around 21 countries, explicitly including India. And next one is other regions like 12 in Latin America. Where is this Latin America located? Latin America. Latin America. Central America. North America, South America connected by small Panama Canal, small countries, they will be there. How many countries are there in this? 8 or 9, 10. Come on, give me choice. I have to choose. Think and tell me. So in that countries there are around 12. And next one is in Middle East and North Africa also around 12 countries, and even 10 countries in Europe including Ukraine. They are also going to face this kind of issues. Okay, and if you see about report on India, they said that public spending is stagnant in India. How much spending you are doing in this health sector? 1.5 to 2%. But if you compare with other countries, you're spending far more better. That is the first important thing they said. And next one is, whatever the care that we are having is like treatment rather than preventive care in India. So no, rather than focusing on preventive care, we are focusing on getting treatment after once we get disease. That is also one problem which mainly highlighted in this report. And next one here is, health administration is very rigid because we are allocating very less amount of funds to this health sector. And next one is, out of pocket expenditure is very high in India. What is out of pocket expenditure? Any idea? Where is your pocket? Out of pocket means expenditure. Even if you're going to government hospital, in government hospital, consultation is free, medicine is free, tests are free, everything should be free. But do we get everything free in government hospitals in India? What is the harsh reality? They'll say that MRI is not there, CT scan is not there, I don't have these medicines, go to private labs or go to other medical shop and get. So there you have to give them money, right? So if you say that I am coming from government hospital, do it for free, will they do? Go to government hospital only. We are not going to provide any free of cost service. Yes. So here you have to spend your money from your pocket. That is called as out of pocket expenditure. Out of pocket expenditure is very high in India. That is around 50%. And next one here is, we are having certain barriers. In India, we don't have universal health coverage. That is a one important problem. Yeah, that is the thing, guys. So here you have to think about what can India do as a leader of Global South and how India can address its own problems. Okay? First of all, we have to clear the problems in our house. Then only we have to go to our neighbors, right? The famous saying by our elderly people. If you're not getting respect from your wife itself, how can you treat other disputes between husband and wives? They'll say that first go to your home and first get it corrected in your home. You'll get that kind of statements. In the same way, this thing says that India is also going to face this kind of problem, and India is a global leader. So how can it manage both domestic and as well as international problems? Are you understanding? Okay, see this next article, guys. 84% waste pickers from SC, ST, OBC groups, says government. This article is also very important. So here, this article why it is important is, Government of India itself released this report. Ministry of Social Justice, right now, Ministry of Social Justice released a report. Ministry of Social Justice released a report which says 84% of waste pickers from SC, ST, OBC. SC, ST, OBC. So here you have to find out the reasons. Please make a note. Reasons, measures by government, way forward. Measures by government, way forward. And keep star mark, and you have to do work on Namaste scheme. NAMASTE. Namaste. Okay, so this report is saying that out of 1.52 lakh profiled waste pickers, 84.5% are from SC, ST and OBC community. And especially Delhi and Goa are the majority of such workers from general communities. From general communities in this Delhi and in this Goa, there are more and more people who are working in this. And around 48.7% of the workers are women and 51.3% are men. And even 0.007% of transgender people are also working in these areas. Okay, so here just work on the things that I said, and even you have to see if the waste pickers are there, which kind of waste they will pick up. Because they are the important part of our society. Why? Because they are keeping our surroundings clean, right? And even if waste picking is not happening in our country, we cannot go for waste management, we cannot go for recycling of the waste, everything. So they are controlling pollution to some extent. But even though here the problem is they are from SC, ST and OBC, that means low caste or vulnerable societies are part of it. And here you have to think why this SC and ST are doing that work, and you have to see which kind of waste you are picking up, and what are the government measures so far, and what problems they'll face while picking up of the waste. Okay, so do this work today. There is nothing to explain here. And see this next article, guys. AI's next investment cycle belongs to applications. So you know that nowadays we are focusing on more AI, that is artificial intelligence. But here this article is saying that from now onwards, from 2026 onwards, AI industry investment will have a shift. Earlier, before 2026, this AI investors, they invested on developing of infrastructure. So which kind of infrastructure they developed? For example, data centers, chips, and foundational models. But from now, from infrastructure, they are shifting to these applications. For example, can you tell me some AI based applications? ChatGPT next. Gemini AI, Perplexity, like that. So here, if anyone wants to do investment, earlier they used to focus on data centers. Why data centers? Because if they're not getting data, will they give the response for the question? No. And we need to have semiconductors for sure, and we need to have different chips. On this, earlier AI has been invested, but now AI investors are focusing on applications because they need profits. Okay, from now onwards, they need more and more profit. So because of this, AI investment is going to have a shift in India. Now onwards, rather than infrastructure, they will focus on applications. Why this shift is happening? The first one here is, if they are investing in infrastructure like establishing of data centers, other things, the cost is very high and the profit is very less. So because of this, they want to directly develop apps. For example, OpenAI interface. It is having lot of losses because till now it invested in infrastructure. Now they want to invest in this apps. Why they are focusing on apps? If you are using any apps, will they provide free of service? No, they will ask you to take 3-month subscription or 6-month subscription or 1-year subscription. And even nowadays we have lots of apps which are AI based, which are used for video editing. So now if you're scrolling your mobile and YouTube shorts, mostly you can see AI generated videos. They are becoming very famous. So, do you know how much subscription they have to pay for that making of that kind of videos? It will be more than 40,000, I guess, per month. Yeah. So here, based on the app, they want to try to generate revenue. They want to try to generate profits. So because of this, now onwards in 2026, AI investments will be more in applications. You are going to get more and more AI applications soon. Are you understanding the things? That's the thing, guys. Nothing more than that. And see this article, there is no case for scrapping MPLAD funds. So recently there is controversy which is going on regarding this MPLAD funds. What is the full form of MPLADs? Member of Parliament. After that, local. Okay, Member of Parliament Local Area Development Scheme. So based on this name, can you decipher something? What is that? Who is Member of Parliament? Only Lok Sabha? Okay. Members of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, they'll comes under MP. Okay, MP. Local area means? Which is from which constituency they are coming up? Local area development scheme means they have to do certain development in their constituency. That is this MPLAD scheme. Are you understanding? So here MP, who may be from Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, whatever it may be, every year they will be getting some funds for development of their constituency. Okay, so here there is some controversy. What is the controversy here is MPs are getting funds, but they are not using that funds for the development. If they are not using for development, why they need to get that funds? So we have to scrape this scheme. Are you understanding? So now, because of that controversy, this MPLAD scheme is in news. Every year you will be getting at least 3 questions on schemes. So because of this controversy, there is a high chance of getting question related to this MPLADs in your prelims. Okay, now let us see this. Okay, MPLADs is a center sector scheme. What is center sector scheme? 100% funds will be given by central government only. and when it was introduced in year 1993 itself, it will enable member of parliament to recommend developmental works in their constituencies, okay, based on the local needs, because MPs who came from that constituency or that local area, they know about that area problems very well. So because of this, they have to recommend the schemes or recommend the developmental areas where they can focus and they can go for development in their areas. That is this MP LAD scheme. And we came up with this scheme in year 1993. And under this, we have a state level nodal department which will be saying about this MP LADs, and they will sanction the projects and they will allocate the funds and they will ensure implementation. And how much amount they'll get? 5 crore rupees per year. Per year they'll be getting 5 crore rupees. And who will disperse this amount? Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. And per every year they'll be getting 5 crores, right? So they will be getting this amount in 2 installment. One installment 2.5 crores and second installment 2.5 crores. That means 2 times the money will be released under this scheme. And the problem here is the funds are non-lapsable. That means, for example, I'm an MP and I got 5 crores of money. I didn't use that money at all. Then what happened? That 5 crore money will not taken back by the government. That 5 crores again added to the next 5 crores. Next year 5 crores. Next year I will be having 10 crores of amount. That is a major problem here. So here, if it is lapsable, then what happened? I will be having a fear that if I am not spending this money, it will be getting wasted. But because of this non-lapsable funds, MPs are showing certain kind of negligence of using that kind of funds for developmental activities. So because of this, now the controversy happened. Are you understanding? It is non-lapsable. And next one here is they have to allocate minimum. There is some condition. Minimum 15% of that money should be used for scheduled caste and 7.5% of money should be used for scheduled tribes development. Okay, so that is the thing, guys. No, nothing more than that. And they have to focus on MG Narega. They can focus on Khelo India. They can focus on improving of education, improving of health in those constituencies. And so this article, rupee jumps 1.2% to 90.32 on US tariffs cut. Markets cheer deal. So what is this article talking about? Now US decreased tariffs on Indian goods 50% to 18%. So because of this, now rupee value got been appreciated by 1.2%. So this year focus on appreciation depreciation and read the statements clearly. Okay, you may get a question regarding appreciation depreciation because for the first time the worst depreciation happened in India and $1 is equal to more than 91 rupees. That was a worst situation of Indian rupee. So because of this, there is a high chance of depreciation and appreciation. They may give directly statements or assertion and reason-based questions or pair-based questions. You have to be very much careful. Or else they may give even problems. Actually, in 2025, for the first time, UPSC never and ever gave problems related to this economy. But last year, they gave 2 problems-based questions related to national income chapter. So they may give question related to appreciation depreciation, also related to problem model. So you have to practice even problems related to this national income and depreciation. Are you understanding? So we have to prepare according to the trends of UPSC. You should not be going in a vague way. Yeah, next one is Venezuelan oil will be difficult to process, says Indian refiners. So major problem here is they gave 3 problems here. You may get a question on this Venezuela crude oil, and in the world, Venezuela is having the largest reserves of oil, and the problem here is oil is thick. Problem here is oil is thick and high viscosity. That means if you take water is having low viscosity. If you pour here, it will go there. If the liquids are having high viscous, if you're pouring here, they will be staying here only. So because of this, whenever you are processing oil, the oil will be not moving easy on the belt. That is a problem. High viscosity will be there and oil is very thick and it is having higher acid number, high acid content. Please make a note here. Venezuela, largest oil reserves in the world. There is a very high chance. Predictability is very high. Highest oil reserves in the world. Next one is thicker oil. Oil is thick. Next point is oil is thick. And next one is higher viscosity and higher acidity. Higher viscosity, higher acidity. And the problem in this Venezuela is, even it is having higher oil, the percentage of processing of this oil is very less. Oil processing is very less in Venezuela. Okay, that is the thing, guys. Nothing more than that. See the questions. With reference to Turtle Trail Initiative and Sea Turtle Conservation in India, consider the following statements. First one is the Turtle Trail Initiative was specifically announced in Union Budget to be developed along coast of Odisha, Karnataka, Kerala. Next one, olive ridley turtles are the only sea turtles in the world that exhibit unique mass nesting behavior known as Aribada. Next, under Wildlife Protection Act 1972, olive ridley turtles are placed under Schedule 2, allowing for regulated community harvesting of eggs. The satellite telemetry studies in India have confirmed that olive ridley turtles nesting in Odisha can migrate as far as coast of Sri Lanka. How many statements are correct? 3? Think once. Think once. Okay. Next question. Assertion reasoning based question. AR. Okay. State, despite holding the world's largest oil reserves, Venezuela oil production has declined sharply over past few decades. This decline is due to mismanagement, lack of investment, and international sanctions. Think assertion reason is right or not. That's all, guys. By this I'm concluding. Thank you so much for watching, and if you like this class, please do hit the like button, and please do share this class to your friends, and do subscribe to Rathod Science Academy. And if you want to start your UPSC preparation, we in our academy, we are going to launch new batch for GS Prelims cum Mains Foundation, and we are providing both on online and offline. And if you want to join this, or if you have any queries regarding this course, please do contact on this number 8074765513. Or else, if you want to visit our academy, you can visit our academy, which is located in our Hyderabad, in Ashok Nagar, exactly above Vikas Book Center, 2nd and 3rd floor, guys. Thank you so much.